Somewhere in your city right now, there is a shelf, fluorescent light, a cardboard box between the toothpaste and the batteries, $4. You have walked past it 10,000 times and never once thought about it. But that box is younger than the light bulb above it. For almost the entire story of your species, that shelf did not exist. Your ancestors still had to answer the same question you answer with pocket change. Every one of them. They answered it. And the real answer is far stranger than you would guess. Contraception is not a modern invention. It is older than writing, older than farming, older than the wheel. It just never left a fossil. Start in the Kalahari. In 1980, researchers Melvin Connor and Carol Worthman studied hunter-gatherer mothers and found children spaced 4 years apart. No pill, no device. What was doing it was the child already born. They nursed in short bursts, dozens of times a day, through the night. That signal traveled to the brain and suppressed the hormones that begin a new cycle. Your body has an ancient rule. Feed the child in front of you before making another. That is not contraception you buy. That is contraception you live. But it was never enough. People wanted control. So they went looking. Egypt, around 1550 before the Common Era. A scroll called the Ebers Papyrus records a preparation of ground acacia, dates, and honey worked into a plug. For centuries, this was dismissed as superstition. Then chemists looked closer. Acacia gum ferments, producing lactic acid. Lactic acid is a spermicide. It is the active ingredient in contraceptive gels sold today. 4,000 years ago, with no microscope and no concept of a sperm cell, someone found a compound modern chemistry rediscovered. How? Slowly, painfully, by watching what happens to the woman beside you. Now go to North Africa, to a Greek colony called Cyrene, and a herb called silphium. Thick stalk, seed pod shaped like a heart. Cyrene stamped that pod onto its coins, which is what you do with the thing that makes you rich. Silphium was a seasoning. It was also, according to Greek and Roman writers, used to prevent pregnancy. The plant grew in one narrow strip of coastline and refused to be farmed. Rome consumed it faster than it could regrow. Pliny the Elder recorded that in his lifetime a single surviving stalk was found and sent to Emperor Nero as a curiosity. Then it was gone, extinct, possibly the first plant eaten out of existence by human beings, driven there by the desire not to conceive. Does that change how you picture the ancient world? The historian John Riddle spent decades arguing these herbal contraceptives were not folklore, but pharmacology. Queen Anne's lace, pomegranate, pennyroyal, rue. Tested in laboratories, many did something real. Other historians pushed back. Dosage was unknowable. The line between a contraceptive and a poison was a handful of seeds. Both are true. The knowledge was real and it could kill you. There was no label. There was a woman, an older woman, a whispered recipe, and a body that either cooperated or did not. So where was the barrier? It arrives late and for the wrong reason. In 1564, a book appeared under the name of the anatomist Gabriele Falloppio. You know his name already. The fallopian tubes carry it. He described a linen sheath soaked in solution, tested on 1,100 men. Not to prevent pregnancy, to prevent syphilis. The contraceptive effect was a side effect nobody advertised. For 2 centuries, the sheath stayed there. Expensive, reusable, linen or animal intestine tied with a ribbon, out of reach of almost everyone alive. Casanova described using them. He also described half a lemon, hollowed out, as a cervical cap. The rind was the barrier. The juice, acidic, did the rest. He did not know why the acid mattered, but it did. It was the same principle Egyptian acacia had exploited 3,000 years earlier. Different continent, different century, same chemistry, found again from scratch by people who never heard of each other. That is what should stop you. Not the strangeness, the convergence. Then in 1839, Charles Goodyear cooked rubber with sulfur and it stopped melting. Stable, elastic, cheap. That is the whole revolution. The idea was 40,000 years old. What changed is that it became reliable and cheap, and for the first time it belonged to people who were not wealthy. So look at that shelf again. Behind it stands a plant an empire ate into extinction. A Kalahari mother whose body counted the years without being told to. Thousands of women who learned which seeds to chew from women who learned it from women and took it to their graves because nobody would write it down. An anatomist chasing a plague, a gambler with a lemon. Every one of them solved the problem you solved without slowing down in the aisle. You have walked past that box 10,000 times and never thought about it. Now you will.